Today you're completing core bite number 28, so make sure that you have that out in front of you right now. Number 1 says an instrument makes 190 revolutions in 5 minutes. How many revolutions does it make in each or for 1 minute? You really shouldn't need a hint with this because we've done so many like this. But to determine the answer to this problem, you would need to divide the total number of revolutions by the number of minutes. You must show your work for this problem. So pause your video and complete the work. After you did the division, your answer should be 38 revolutions. If you did not get 38 revolutions, I need you to look at your division and compare it to mine right now. 5 will not go into 1, but it will go into 19, and it will go 3 times. 3 times 5 is 15. When I subtract, I get 4. Add a 0, bring it down, and now 5 goes into 40 8 times, which is 40. Correct your division if you missed it. Number 2 says to write an integer to represent or to describe 4 floors down. All you have to determine for this is whether this will be a positive or a negative 4. Pause your video and write your answer in the blank. For number 2, you should have written a negative 4 because this means 4 floors down. The word down indicates a negative. If you missed it, make sure you understand why. For number 3, you're actually going to have 3 different answers. You're going to have an answer for A, an answer for B, and an answer for C. Make sure you know that you're going to have 3 different answers because it says write each of these using bases and exponents. Hopefully you remember that the base is the large number. I'm going to put B for base, and the small number that goes in the upper right hand corner is the exponent. So your hint is this. The base is the number that is being multiplied over and over and over. The exponent tells me how many times the base is being multiplied by itself. Pause your video and answer all 3 of those. You should have written 2 to the 3rd power for A because the base, the number that is being multiplied by itself, is 2, and it's being multiplied by itself 1, 2, 3 times. So 2 to the 3rd power. For B, you should have written 3 to the 2nd power because 3 is the base, that is the number that's being multiplied over and over, and it's being multiplied twice. So that is your exponent 2. And for C, you should have written 4 to the 4th power. 4 is the number that is being multiplied over and over and over, and it is being multiplied times itself 4 times, so the exponent is 4. Make sure you have your original answers and the correct answers. Number 4 is asking you to look at this net and choose the 3-dimensional figure that goes with it. Recognizing that you have 3 rectangles and 2 triangles. Pause your video and answer number 4. For number 4, you should have chosen D. This, and I want you to write this name down, is a triangular, we can abbreviate that, prism. The reason I know it's a prism is it has rectangular faces going around, and then it has 2 triangular bases. So if we folded up this net, it would make D. If you'll notice, D, you see 3 rectangular faces going around the center, and then there's a rectangle in the front and 1 at the back. Number 5, I'm not going to give you a hint other than to say be very careful and study the numbers across the bottom. You need to know what those stand for, and you need to know what the X's stand for. Pause your video, read your question, and answer number 5. For number 5, the question was, how many students do most teachers have? So because the X's represent the teachers, you're looking for the most X's. Well, if you notice, here is where the most X's are. So if you go down and look, that number 17 would be the number of students. So the answer was B, 17. That is how many students most of the teachers have. That's where you see most of the teachers, the X's for the teachers, and it's at 17. Okay, that means you are finished with core byte number 28.